Hello everyone, Rurikhan here coming at you with another First Impressions video, and today we're going to be taking a look at the incredible adventures of Van Helsing. This game was also gifted to me by Declore during the Steam summer sale, so thank you very much Declore for enabling this particular First Impressions. Anyways, obviously this game is not particularly recent, it came out a couple of months ago, but anyways, I wanted to expand the videos of First Impressions to not just include recent games, but just games that I haven't had a chance to play with and games that my community might be interested in. So what is Van Helsing all about, really? Van Helsing is an isometric action RPG, very much in the vein of Diablo or Torchlight, that kind of stuff. And what sets Van Helsing apart from all these other action RPGs, you guys might ask? Well, for starters, unlike most of these recent action RPGs, Van Helsing actually does not do the whole procedural level generation, which is kind of unexpected if I'm to be completely honest, because given the nature of these titles, it obviously increases the replayability. Now, I'm not saying that I am disappointed or anything like that. I'm just saying it's different than what we've come to expect. So currently the difficulty that I'm playing in is it's hard. It's not the hardest one. I think the hardest one is it called Hardcore? I think it might be called Hardcore. I'm not 100% sure. I don't remember really. But anyways, I'm on the difficulty that is before the last one. And you guys will see me play a little bit of the game here. And the thing is, my objective at least is to convey as much of the game through gameplay as possible, because I mean, we obviously know that there is a ton of these games coming up recently, and holy crap, I am taking a beating. There you go. But yeah, there has been a ton of these games coming out recently, which is weird because we had a time in the gaming industry where we had almost none of these games coming out, and then all of a sudden we got Diablo, Torchlight, now Van Helsing, and a whole slew of other titles basically that kind of follow suit in this type of gameplay. So anyways, one of the things that you guys will notice most definitely as soon as you... Whoa! Jesus. Yeah, it's going to be hard for me to focus on commentary playing at this difficulty level. It's not like it's super hard, but the thing is, focusing on commentary whilst doing the crazy kiting that I tend to do in this difficulty, it's like, eh. But anyways, one of the first things that you will notice is that you have a companion. Now, a lot of other games also have this through the use of summoner classes or whatever, but in Van Helsing, you're always going to have this companion. This companion also levels up, and you can basically spec her to provide you with different buffs and stuff like that. Every now and then, the companion will die, as was the case just now, but she will keep providing you with a multitude of buffs and other things until she actually returns. Now, something that they obviously, I think they took from Torchlight is the ability that your companion can go to town and sell stuff for you, which is obviously extremely convenient because particularly in the harder difficulties, you will get increased loot chances because that is the way they kind of balance off their difficulty. It's like, look, you're going to play in a harder setting, and you're also going to have increased magic find, which is kind of neat, I guess, but it also kind of makes a lot of the talents available to you in the talent tree, as well as auras and stuff that you're going to be able to get. It makes them pretty much meaningless because there's actually quite a few of them that revolve around magic find. So the way that I'm building this particular character is I'm trying to specialize him for melee. Obviously, I'm not really staying in melee that much because these guys can still pretty much own my face. So I do a lot of kiting. Now this kiting has actually become a bit of a crutch for me, if I'm to be completely honest, because it's very easy to get through the whole game through kiting. As a matter of fact, I mean, well, not the whole game. I haven't played the whole game, obviously, but up until this point,
I felt a burst of energy from the stone.
You don't fiddle with ancient runestones in Borgovia. You might accidentally summon something.
Ooh. It's kind of like one of those boss shrines in Diablo, where now the next minion that shows up is going to be a boss. But as I was saying, I have this feeling that it seems to me like the ranged playstyle is like heavily favored, not favored, but heavily in advantage to melee. I mean, just look at this. They're barely touching me. I mean, I can just do this all day long, kite like a bastard. But you also obviously do some more damage. At least my character will do more damage in melee because, like I said, I am speccing it more towards a melee playstyle. I will show you guys the skill tree in a couple of seconds here. But it should give you right now an idea of the art style, the gameplay style. It is pretty much that point and click that we're used to. Shift also works for shooting standing still, which is what I'm using when I'm kiting these guys. But there are a lot of twists to it that kind of differentiate it from other games. But in order to do that, I actually have to go, in order to show you guys that, I actually have to go into the skill trees themselves and into some more detailed stuff. Like, for instance, if you notice here, I've been switching between pistols and sword. Now, this is something that I actually enjoy because in these types of games, a lot of times you will have advantages to having ranged weapons, and other times you will have advantages to having melee weapons. So they allow you to quickly switch between a ranged weapon and a melee weapon, and you will be able to equip those in your equipment slots here. So this is my ranged weapon, this is my melee weapon, and as you can see, the inventory system is pretty much like Diablo, Torchlight, all that kinds of stuff. Your companion will also have gear, as you can see here. Your companion is Lady Katarina, and she has her own leveling system. So as you can see, available ability points right here. I can actually invest in dexterity, body, willpower, luck. Now, dexterity is mostly for ranged combat as well as dodge. Those are the bonuses that dexterity will give you in this game. Body is actually a combination of both physical damage as well as hit points and defense, which is actually kind of neat. So that if you want to do a melee character, all you really need to focus on as much as you possibly can is body. Obviously, you still want to have some dexterity, especially if you're playing in the higher difficulty settings, because you need some dodging and stuff like that. And also, you will need to do some ranged attacks every now and then. However, this is, like I said, this is the summoning skills. I'm not at Van Helsing skills just yet, but anyways, I'm gonna put her, let's say, 1 body, 2 dexterity, because I'm leveling her up basically to be a ranged attacker because I want to be the tank myself. You can kind of select her skills and adapt and to suit whatever your playstyle happens to be. So if you want to be more melee, you might want to spec Lady Katarina to be more of a range type assist character. And if you want to be a range type character, you might want to spec her into being more tanky or whatever. Right now, I'm investing a lot of pretty much every single point I can into Withering Kiss. And what it does is Katarina's deadly attacks develop the ability to drain life force from her foes, healing your wounds in the process. So it's kind of like her attacks life leech to me, which is what I'm focusing on the most. I'm trying to get as much life leech as possible. So I'm going to put another point in there. There are other abilities which will give you different things, like, for instance, Stroke of Terror gives you a paralyzed chance. So if you're playing a ranged character, you probably want to send Katarina into melee range and use this. This is probably useless if you're doing a ranged character in corporeal defense. It gives you, just adds up to your defense. And there's a whole bunch of more stuff, like this enables her to take damage for you, which I'm probably also going to get. This enables her to leech mana, so it leeches health and mana. This will increase your attack speed. So basically, as you can see, she has a lot of skills, and most of them are kind of passive. So she just auto attacks, and depending on the way that you spec her, she will, do different buffs for you. And then you can also change her behavior, like you can have her go to melee. And if you do that, you can also change her equipment around to favor, let's say, body, so that she can take more hits. You can also tell her to defend, which basically means anyone that attacks you, she will attack as well. You can tell her to assist, which will make her attack her target, which is the way I have her set up right now, so that she takes it as least aggro as possible so that she doesn't die. You can also have her just grab items from the ground. I have her grab just everything so that the items are spread out through both inventories, because you do pick up a ton of items in this game. But yeah, you can see that there are a lot of options to the way that Lady Katarina plays. Am I missing something? Oh yeah, it looks like I actually had 3 things to spend, and I only spent 1. What else should I level up? I really don't want to level up anything because I want to eventually get the mana leech as well. So that is your companion skills. Your companion will attack. Oh, you can actually dynamically change that stuff here. That's kind of cool. And then let's show you Van Helsing's skill tree. So this is, you look at this and you're like, whoa, it's a little bit overwhelming. And yes, it is. So Mystic Warrior is obviously going to be your melee abilities. Occult Hunter is going to be your more ranged abilities, so spells and guns and that kind of stuff. Tricks and Auras is something that basically, these are passive bonuses that your character gets, and you can level these up. Now, I haven't really leveled them up because I haven't found like an aura that I say, oh man, this aura is just amazing, I need to get it. And besides auras, there's also these things which are called tricks. So like I said, auras are passive. I bought this treasure hunter thing, and to be completely honest, I just bought this because I couldn't find anything else, and since you can have 2 active auras, I was like, fine, I'll just take these 2 and whatever. The other one increases my bonus critical damage when I'm at max rage, but I'm very rarely at max rage because I just tend to switch to pistols and start blowing rage on stuff. But I still haven't explained you guys the rage mechanic, which I will get to in a couple of seconds. I'm sorry, I realize that I'm not really doing anything in game and just kind of explaining you guys through all these skills, but it did take me quite a while to kind of sync everything in, and now I'm just trying to transmit everything back to you guys. So what are active tricks? So one of the first active tricks that you get right at the start of the game is Arcane Healing. Arcane Healing is an AoE heal. So basically I can do this and heal everything around me. That includes players, like if you're playing multiplayer or something, as well as your minion, as well as yourself. So this is like just a heal. So if you really want to have powerful heals, you might want to spend a couple of points on Arcane Healing, and that will grant you more powerful heals. But like I've said, I'm focusing mostly on melee and trying to get life leech, which I hope that by the time I get enough life leech, healing might just become useless. But honestly, at this point in the game, I still don't even know if life leech is going to be a viable strategy for me or not. So I haven't invested anything in Arcane Healing. The other trick we have here is Mystic Shield. So currently I have one ability that uses mana, but I very rarely use it. As a matter of fact, I just don't use it at all, because the only reason I have this ability is because I'm going down the tree to get another ability. So I put this shield up, which basically gives you, I think it's 10%. No, it's 7% of your damage goes towards your mana if you activate this thing during 90 seconds. So it's kind of a little bit of a tanky skill to kind of save you if you get into problems or whatever. So like I said, I'm not putting a lot of stuff into Occult Hunter, but I have placed some stuff on the shoot skill. Shoot skill is the your basic shot, so you switch to pistols and you shoot. Now this doesn't spend any mana, so I'm just like, well, whenever I shoot, I'm trying to make as much damage as possible. I just throw a couple of points at this one every now and then. I've also thrown points at it from these 3 things. So what are these 3 things on top here? These are charge up things for your skills, so to speak. I don't know exactly how to describe these, because I haven't really seen the, other action RPGs do stuff kind of like this. So it is a little bit unique in this aspect. So what are these 3 things on top of each skill? Each of these things will buff different aspects of your skill. Like for instance, here you have 50% damage. Here you have the target will be slowed down for 75% for 2 seconds. And this one will do 50% of its damage to everyone within a 1.5 meter range of the target, which basically transforms your shooting into an AoE. Now, these aren't passive. You have to actually activate these. Now, you will see that they're above my skills over here, and in order to activate them, you can either click here or you can press 1, 2, or 3. And it will activate this one, or this one respectively. And what do these things even do? Well, this basically consumes rage. If you notice here, my rage is 24. If I activate this, my rage becomes... it also becomes 24 because it actually hasn't used it yet. But if you shoot, my rage is now 17. So once you activate these things, they consume range, and they're consumed once you use the skill. So this is like a one-time buff to your skill. Now, you guys might be, whoa, so you can activate multiple things. Yeah, you can basically do the explosive round, the tar shot, as well as the dum-dum round, if you have enough range to do them, and that will basically cause all of your shots, not all of your shots, I mean your next shot, to do 50% of its damage to everyone within a 1.5 meter radius. It will also increase the shot's damage by 50%, and it will also put down a little puddle of tar. Not put down, it just slows enemies in an AoE cloud, kind of. So it does all three things at once. And you're like, oh, that's pretty good. But that's not all. You can actually do things twice. So instead of 50% more damage, you get 100% more damage, for instance. So basically, you can buff these things up to 3 times, and they will do more damage, or they will increase their effect. Like if you do it to the explosive round, it increases the radius. It increases the radius of the AOE. And you also have something else, which is you can set a combo. And combo, basically, it's like usually you will have, if your rage bar is full, you will be able to put 3 points distributed any way you want. And you just set up your combo, and then instead of having to press 1, 2, or 3, you just press space, and it instantly will charge your ability with whatever you have set up for the power-up combos. Like, for instance, if I was to hit space and I had enough rage, right now it would give me 1 charge of explosive round for the AoE, and 2 charges of Dum Dum round for added damage. I know this sounds a little bit complicated and overwhelming, but it is actually quite simple when you get down to business. So let's switch up to a melee weapon here. Get a little bit of rage. Rage, you get it by pretty much beating on things or shooting at things without using those skills. As you can see, my rage bar is slowly filling. Rage bar is the yellow one over here to the sides. As you can see, it slowly fills up, and once it fills up, you then can press space. That charged up the shot, and there you go. That was the AoE with added damage onto it. Once again, AoE with added damage onto it, and then you go back to your normal shots. So, and now as you can see, this creates an interesting gameplay dynamic, because if you take into consideration all the skills you have and all the different things that you can do, you can see that there is definitely a lot of variety to your characters, depending on how much you want to min-max it or how much you want to be a jack of all trades. So if you look, like for instance, let's say I wanted to be more of a ranged kind of guy, I could get Explosive Shot, which is a ranged attack, deals damage in a small area around the target if it hits. And then you could like add Shrapnel, increasing the AoE, or you could add High Explosive, causing 50% more damage, or Hex Round, which would steal mana from your targets. And then you could basically set up a combo for this to mix and match these. How would you prefer? Like 1 charge on Shrapnel, 2 charges on Hex Round, or two charges on High Explosive, 1 charge on Shrapnel. Anyways, I hope you guys get the idea by now. And this is for every single skill. This includes your basic strike skill. This includes this bash skill. However, the thing is, obviously, you will want to specialize yourself in something, because otherwise you're gonna be having to switch skill. Holy crap, that hurt! That hurt quite a bit. Otherwise, you're gonna have to switch in skills and stuff. So, me personally, I'm trying to specialize into melee, and I want to get an ability, which I don't even know the name, but it's basically like a multi-attack. It works like Diablo 2's Zeal, if you guys remember that from the Paladins. It is a multi-hit attack, which will attack multiple monsters in melee range, and that is the ability that I want to eventually get, to just wreck and destroy everyone. So yeah, one of the things that I definitely like and enjoy is the fact that you can switch between the swords and the guns. I just wish the guns weren't as easy to kite people, because you can tell, like, I mean, this is pretty easy to just kite around. You can just kite all day long. And remember, like I said, this isn't hard difficulty. It's not the hardest difficulty of all, but... And it's very easy for you to just, you know, walk back, shoot, particularly if you happen to be an experienced Dota player or League of Legends player. Like, this is a no-brainer right here. You just run around, shoot things, no problem. Or you can go into melee, but obviously melee is not as advisable if you're playing at these difficulty levels until you have good gear and a whole bunch of life leech. In terms of story, like I said, this follows a different Van Helsing than the movie, which probably is the Van Helsing that a lot of you are familiar with. At least that is my case. I'll be straight up honest. I'm not ashamed to admit I'm not very knowledgeable of Van Helsing lore. But in reality, your character is not the Van Helsing. It is Van Helsing's son. And the adventure starts when you receive some letter and you come to this this place. You need to go to a place that's called Borgovia. I forget the precise name. You need to go to a place called Borgovia, but a whole bunch of monsters destroy the bridge that leads to Borgovia, which will mean that you have to basically take a longer route, and you end up going into a town where people give you quests and stuff to do. You know, the usual thing, the usual run around, giving you different quests to do and whatnot. There's also some special levels spread out throughout the game, which are called, I'm not exactly sure what their name is, but the thing that you do in those levels is called ink walking. So ink walking is basically like side quests and stuff like that, where you go into this chaotic looking world where you're just walking on pebbles that are floating, and it's just, it looks very much like a black hole almost, with some elements of your normal world and some really weird monsters. And those are the things that you do in Van Helsing. Basically, you run around, you kill things, you do quests. It is very basic. So if that is the kind of experience you're looking for, if you're looking for, you know, those kinds of games, the combat, the action RPGs with the isometric style, that is what you will get in Van Helsing. There is also co-op, like I've mentioned previously. I haven't really tested out the co-op yet, but I believe that you can do the entire campaign in co-op, and they've recently, I'm not sure how recently, but it looks like it should have been recently, because every time I turn on my game, Steam alerts me to the fact that scenarios are now available, which is something that you can do after you get to level 30, I believe, or things that you can do that are tuned for level 30. I'm not even exactly sure what the level cap for the game is, but let's bash a couple more of these things. But yeah, it's just, for me, it's kind of hard to talk too much about Van Helsing, because this is a gameplay style that has been done and redone. And I'm not saying this in a bad way, mind you, because it is kind of cool. I like the art style. I definitely have been having fun with it, but it's not like it actually brings anything super new to the table. I really wish I would have had time to try these scenario modes. As a matter of fact, I wanted to try the scenario modes, but the thing is, I need to get to level 30 before I try the scenario modes. So yeah, because I also read in their website that, like, they have this tower defense mode, and I'm wondering if that's what the scenario mode is. But I still have to invest a lot more time into the game before I can actually show you guys the scenario mode. But so far, it's like the campaign has been fun. It is fully voice acted, at least up until the point where I've played it. The voice actors do a good job, as far as I can tell. They have this thick Russian accent, which is kind of cool. This game is actually not set in the real world, so it's in a fantasy world, alternate universe, Van Helsing kind of deal. And yeah, you can also customize the color of your capes. And like I said, you will grab a ton of loot, and you will spend a lot of time sorting through that loot, figuring out which one is actually better for you, which is actually one of the minor complaints that I have with the game. I mean, just look at this. This is only like, what, 30 minutes of gameplay, and our inventories are almost full. And I haven't even advanced that much, because I've spent like a good 10 minutes just kind of explaining to you guys about the different abilities that you have access to. But like I said, one of the things that I do like is the switch between melee and ranged, but it does have its problems in becoming a crutch for kiting. Now, there are some monsters that do have a couple of mechanics that will prevent you from effectively kiting them, but those are very rare. I mean, I've had them a couple of times. What happens is they will grab you with a skill and they will pull you back every now and then. But like, the majority of them doesn't really have that, and you can just kind of exploit kiting mechanics to your heart's content. Which is what you're seeing me do here, pretty much. I just walk a little bit, and boom, boom, boom. And then you can just switch on the swords when they're manageable enough and just hack and slash away. Vodanoi Blail Splitter. Everything has these weird Russian-sounding names too, so... Okay, now let's look a little bit at leveling up here. Now, each level you will usually get... Whoa, what the hell was that? Was that a monster? Oh no, it was just like a glitch in the screen or something. For a second I thought there was a really huge monster here. Oh, it's just them coming out of the trees. Oh, that's kind of cool. Boom. I think it actually might be one of these winged creatures that does the thing that I was talking about. I still don't know what these runestones do. I guess I'll find out further into the level. I've also had, so far I've had one boss fight. And the boss fight, I have to say, was pretty interesting. Because, I mean, usually in these games you spend so much time hacking and slashing that when you do get a really cool boss fight, it tends to become a more memorable experience. So I fought this big werewolf kind of dude. And the reason why the fight was interesting is because I killed him, and after killing him, he kind of sent me into that ink world that I was talking about. And I went into that ink world, and I had to destroy these little things that he created. And only then I was able to attack him again inside the ink world, and only then was I able to finally kill him. So there were these interesting mechanics to that fight that I kind of enjoyed. So the boss fights do seem to be somewhat unique and different from your usual just hack and slash everything away. Double barrel? Look at that. Plus 10 DPS. That's what I'm talking about. So now instead of having 2 guns, you actually have a rifle. Which, to be honest, for kiting, the rifle is actually better than the 2 guns. Because 2 guns will favor like you just staying in the same place and shooting, because they shoot a lot faster. Whereas the rifle will favor kiting because it shoots slower, but it will do more damage. So personally, I prefer rifles. Holy crap, plus 10 DPS, plus 13 DPS. Okay, I guess we'll have to take this sword then. There's just no way around it. There are also sometimes smaller swords that you will pick up, which are one-handed swords. And those swords will, once again, be faster, but at the exchange of less damage. So more DPS, less burst. And the way that I'm playing, this build actually favors burst over DPS for the time being, because once I actually start getting into the whole life leeching thing, I might just be forced to use dual wielding weapons, because like I said, I do need to get that life leech effect going, and to get life leech you're required to hit them as fast as you possibly can. Oh, can I actually exploit this hill? Oh, that's so cheap. That is so cheap. Look at that. Bong, bong, not. Boom. I do like the whole charging abilities thing here. It does add an extra layer of strategy to the stuff that you got to do. But once again, I just wish it wasn't as easy to kite monsters as it is. Then again, I guess it's kind of unfair for me to say that, because I enjoy these types of games quite a bit. And I know that there's going to be a lot of comments in the comment section saying, oh man, if you enjoy these types of games, you should totally play Path of Exile. And I've already told people, for whatever reason, I just can't get into Path of Exile. I don't even know why. But one of these days, I'll definitely have to make a video on that one as well. Shoot it, kill it!
I need healing.
But yeah, there's definitely a repetitive nature to these playstyles. I am leveling up quite fast, though, I have to say. Oh, you almost hit me there. Almost hit me there. But I'm not playing as optimally as I was last night, because just having to focus on commentary is a lot more distracting in this type of game than I was expecting.
Look,
Well, let's just get to the
light mode.
Borgovian light mode? What the hell is that? Let me just at least finish out this quest to show you guys hopefully some dialogue and stuff like that, so that you guys can judge the voice acting for yourselves. And I should also do some inventory management to show you guys how you can send your companion to go into town. Whoop. Almost hit me. Switch to melee here. Hack and slash away. There you go. Okay, let's look at our skill points first. So like I said, I want to do the Mystic Warrior thing. Am I going to be able to level this up twice? No, I can only level it up once, which is very disappointing. So I'm going to level this thing up as well. And what's this, you might ask? This is basically pairing expertise. It gives you defense. So I'm going all-out offense, and this is like your basic attack, so just doing as much damage as possible with the basic attack, because there's a point here that's going to do lifesteal. Each hit with strike heals you for 10 hit points, and that is something that I want to get to. And then I also want to get this thing because it's going to give you a lot more parrying chance when you're in the when you're in the thick of battle. And I'm probably also going to get the parry mastery, which will increase the parry of the weapon that I have, as well as I might even do increases defense. For now, however, what can I do? I also wanted to get one of these, but I've been really indecisive about which one. Either I get the precise strike, which will ignore enemies' physical resistance, or I'll get the heavy strike. I think I'm gonna get precise strike and just neglect heavy strike. And I should probably also... Oh wait, this costed 2 points? No, it only costed 1. So... weird. Well, I'm gonna actually get evasion. Oh yeah, because... Okay, I get it. So let's get this and evasion for now. And then we'll level up the rest of the stuff that I need to level up. I should probably do the each kill with strike yields 1 extra rage point as well. I've been having trouble, I've been having trouble doing deciding upon the stuff that I actually want to do with the character. Either way, that is the points we're going to put in here. Let's put some more body. How many points do we have? Okay, we have 5. The way I've been doing it, I put 3 points into body, 2 points into dexterity, so that I'm still viable from range. Because at this difficulty, there's always going to be that stuff. Ooh, new perks available. Uncanny Fighter. 1 mana per hit, minus 20% mana cost. Oh, that's cool. I like that. And the reason I like that is because eventually I will need Mana Leech as well, so... we'll see. Either way, these perk things are basically... I'm not exactly sure how you win reputation. I think that the more stuff you kill, basically you gain more reputation. And when you get enough reputation, you will be able to pick among these passive skills. So there's a ton of stuff that that you actually have for your character. I mean, let's just sum up here real fast. You've got your skills. On top of your skills, you've got your auras and your tricks. You've also got the stuff that boosts your skills. You've also got passives that boost your skills. This stuff boosts your skills, but it's active. And then on top of that, you also have your stats. On top of your stats, you also have, what was the other thing? The perks. You also have the perks things. And then on top of all that, you also have the passive skills of your companion, which will provide buffs to you. Which I feel they do create a lot of variety. It does definitely create a ton of variety here. Speaking of which, let's put another point into Life Leech. Oh wait, I can actually do Mana Leech now as well. And I'm actually going to go ahead and do that. Okay, so now we have Mana Leech as well. I'm just getting prepared for when I finally do get the skill that I want. So 2 points in Dexterity, 1 point in Body to make sure that she can take a couple of hits. I should actually do Willpower as well, but whatever. And let's move onward and try to do the quest that I was talking about here. Yeah, I also want to set the combo for the sword, which is going to be no stunning, full-on power up for the damage. Holy crap, there's a lot of them. And let's shoot everybody. Shoot you in the face, shoot you in the face. And our ghost's already dead. Is she dead? No, she's still alive. She's still going. Good. Keep leeching health here. Just trying to get some rage to activate my thing. Boom. There we go. Man, these guys are doing a ton of damage. I'm just going to go in melee, guns blazing. What do you guys want, huh? I mean, just look at the amount of dodging and parrying that I actually do. It's quite a lot, but it's still not enough to actually... Jesus! These guys are pretty tough. I'm not sure what this shaman guy is doing, but... yeah, he's doing it right. There we go. Whole bunch of loot there. Okay, we're looking better now. Let's just switch to melee. Man, sometimes you will do some crazy-ass crits. Oh, looks like I filled up my inventory. Yeah, so in about half an hour's worth of gameplay, we filled up our inventory, which means that now I have to... I am forced to do inventory management at this point. And holy crap, there are so many things that I need to choose. Let's see, sword, 12 mana, less DPS, less DPS, less DPS. However, she also picked up a pretty decent sword here that I saw, which is this thing. This thing, I'm going to put this sword here and compare it with mine. Does more DPS, adds more mana, and more spell power, so whatever. And I'm going to give her this sword. There. Now, everything else does less DPS. Less protection, less everything. How about this belt? Not so good. 4 HP per hit. This almost seems useful, but I really don't want to have like HP per hit items. I want to have HP per hit skills, because items you'll have to constantly upgrade, whereas skills, you know, obviously you get your skills and that's that. This will give her more DPS from a rifle standpoint. How about me? Okay, because I'm always the priority. I mean, I'm sorry, Ghost, but I am the priority. 3 DPS advantage, 4 DPS advantage, 4.9 DPS advantage. Okay. What's this called? Harker 810 Elephant. Okay. Well, looking at these items here, doesn't look like there's anything that I actually want. This one gives +1 protection, but it's like defense is 27. This is 24. Wait a second. Does she have a... No, she doesn't. For a second there, I thought she had a better... Oh, this gives +19 physical resistance. That's why. Okay. Tusk Sword. +5 DPS on top of this. Okay, I'm curious. It will also add DPS to me and protection. Fine. Okay, looks like I'm actually wielding this. You're wielding this. Yeah. Inventory management is a pretty boring part of the experience, if I can say so myself. So this will give me extra hit points, which I don't want. 17 physical resistance, 6 physical, 3 mana regeneration, 4 mana regeneration, poison, 25. I'm actually going to take this hat instead. I'm not sure if that was the best choice or not, but oh well. And now I'm going to send her to... Wait, how about the rings? These rings aren't anything special. And these rings aren't anything special either. So we're gonna send her to the town.
You'll never see these things again.
And it looks like we've actually had to leave some of the stuff behind. Well, I'll just throw something off like this. Scrap. 4 rage, 9 elemental resistances. Man, I got a really good spirit stone early on, like this +10 body and 25 physical resistance. I haven't been able to find anything better than that. Hello guys, how you doing? Out of my face. And a couple more minions here. As you can see, this thing will also be telling you how long it takes her to get back. It's going to take her another 25 seconds or so to come back from town. Die! Minions of hell! Now, every time that you guys see me cast a heal, just remember that heal could be a lot more effective if I had spec'd into it. I just did a conscious choice of not doing so. It also provides with people, like, if they want to have like a real teamwork environment setting kind of deal, they can also do so. Anyways, my ghost here is back, my ghostly companion. And what that means is that I basically can grab everything I have, give it to her, and send her off again, and she will sell everything else again. Were these my pistols? Yes, they were. And go shopping again.
All the fun.
Yes, you will, but that's not my fault, because I'm a min-maxer, so I like picking up everything all the time. You guys know the way I roll. It's just you gotta get all the items, gotta either sell them or make something out of them. And now let's finally head to that quest marker, which is still going to take a while apparently. Holy crap, okay. Okay, these might be some of the guys that have the mechanic that I was talking about that pull you back. Are they summoning people in? Wow, you guys kind of locked yourselves away from me. That's cool. Yeah, the thing about this difficulty is that it does take a while to get through things. But that's just the way I like to do it. You guys know me. Am I actually going to die for the first time here? Go away, champion things.
Hey,
obviously there's
I'm a
still the...
princess trapped by an evil man. If you free me, oh, it's you.
She's bound to Van Helsing's family, so every now and then she does that joke. She is bound to servitude. Here's another treasure chest for us. Thank you very much. I really wanted to pick up that hat, but they're making it really hard for me. You guys mind? I'm trying to grab some loot over here. Boom! Oh my god, that crit. That was tasty. Triple crit to the face. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Take it, take it. Okay, it looks like the quest is actually still far away, so you might just not be able, we might just not be able to get there in this episode since we're coming up on 45 minutes at this point. This has been Rurikhan with my first impressions of Van Helsing. Hopefully I went as in-depth as I possibly could to help you guys decide if this is a game that you guys want to get invested in or not. My personal opinion, it's definitely worth a try, especially if you take into consideration that this is, what, a $15 title? It is good fun in terms of isometric action RPGs, and it does have enough uniqueness to it to kind of justify its existence. Like, they've really come up with some of their own mechanics with the skill buffing, with the companion, and I can definitely tell that you can do a lot of builds in this game. Like, you can do ranged builds with pistols, ranged builds around spells. You can do melee builds around life leech, melee builds around elemental damage. There's definitely a lot of variety to be had here, especially if you have like a group of friends, then you can all like play. And I'm not exactly sure how many player co-ops this thing is. It might be 4-player co-op, I believe, which is usually the standard in these types of games. But, I mean, 4 players doing what I'm doing right now, that sounds like a crap ton of fun, if I'm to be completely honest. And on top of that, there's also the scenario modes, which, unfortunately, I couldn't really get to, but should be something else that will keep you occupied as well. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed the video. As per usual, leave me your comments, feedback, and all that kinds of good stuff in the comment section below. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.